All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Naresh Mago and with me is VC Pramod. The headlines. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to chair Interstate Council meeting in Bhopal today. Government clarifies there is no plan to levy any charges for UPI services. CBI registers preliminary inquiry over allegations of corruption in procurement of 1,000 low-floor buses by Delhi government. Arnan Sharma quits as steering committee chairman of Himachal Congress. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses the 210 crore mark. Flood triggered by heavy rain inundates more than 2,200 villages spread over 13 districts of Odisha. Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme 2022-23 Series 2 to open for subscription from today. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan charged under Anti-Terrorism Act over provocative speech. And in cricket, India to take on Zimbabwe in third and final ODI in Harare today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will chair a meeting of the Central Region of the Interstate Council in Bhopal today. More from our correspondent.
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan informed that the Interstate Council meeting will take place at Kusabhav Thakre International Convention Center, Bhopal.
मध्य क्षेत्रीय परिषद की ये बैठक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है और इस बैठक में अनुसूचित जाति जनजाति कल्याण, किसान कल्याण, महिलाओं और बच्चों के विरुद्ध अपराध की विवेचना, आंतरिक सुरक्षा, आतंकवाद और नक्सलवाद जैसे विषयों की रोकथाम के लिए व्यापक विचार विमर्श होगा.
Apart from MP CM, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Uttarakhand CM Pushkar Singh Dhami and Chhattisgarh CM Bhupesh Baghel will attend the meeting. Shri Shah will also lay the foundation stone for a Bhopal campus of National Forensic Science University and address seminars on subjects like new education policy and cooperative. The Union Home Minister will also inaugurate more than 1,300 houses and 54 administrative buildings of the MP Police Department. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said that Telangana has plunged into a debt trap despite the centre giving over 2 lakh crore rupees to the state. He alleged that the TRS government in the state is anti-farmer. Addressing a public meeting at Munugod in Nalgonda district, the minister said the farmers in the state are being kept away from the Prime Minister's Fasal Bima Yojana.
किसान को बीमे से दूर रखने का पाप केसीआर ने किया है. एक केसीआर सरकार किसान विरोधी है. हमने कहा जाड़ा चावल जो राज्य की पैदाश है वो केसीआर खरीदे, मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस पर खरीदे, मगर वो लेने के लिए तैयार नहीं है. मैं आज इस मंच से मेरे किसान भाइयों को कहकर जाता हूं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की कमल निशान की सरकार बना दो. मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में तेलंगाना भाजपा सरकार हर किसान का हर किलो जाड़ा चावल खरीदने का वादा करती है.
The government has clarified that there is no plan to levy any charges for UPI services. In a series of tweets, Finance Ministry said UPI is a digital public good with immense convenience for the public and productivity gains for the economy. The clarification came amid some reports that there may be possibility of UPI transaction charge. The ministry said the concerns of the service providers for cost recovery have to be met through other means. It said government had provided financial support for digital payment ecosystem last year and has announced the same this year as well to encourage further adoption of digital payments and promotion of payment platforms that are economical and user-friendly. Sovereign Gold Bonds 2022-23 Series 2 will be opened for subscription from today. It will continue till Friday. The Finance Ministry said the issue price of the bond during the subscription period will be 5,197 rupees per gram. The government, in consultation with the Reserve Bank of India, has decided to allow discount of 50 rupees per gram from the issue price to those investors who apply online and the payment is made through digital mode.
The Central Bureau of Investigation has registered a preliminary inquiry over allegations of corruption in the procurement of 1,000 low-floor buses by the Delhi government. The inquiry was registered on a reference of the Union Home Ministry. The matter of corruption in annual maintenance contract of the bus procurement by the Delhi Transport Corporation was raised by the BJP in Delhi Assembly in March this year. A three-member committee formed by former Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal in June had found procedural flaws in the annual maintenance contract and recommended scrapping it. The LG had referred the matter to the Union Home Ministry for its consideration. A preliminary inquiry is the first step in ascertaining allegations in a complaint if they prima facie indicate a crime deserving an FIR. We spoke to BJP MLA Vijendra Gupta, who is also a complainant in this case.
दिल्ली सरकार ने 1000 लो फ्लोर बसेस की खरीद में भारी घोटाला किया और उसमें उनके तमाम पूरे मामले को लेकर के हमने ये मुद्दा उठाया था और जनवरी 2021 में इन्होंने ये वर्क ऑर्डर किया था बस लो फ्लोर बस की खरीद और उसकी मेंटेनेंस का। तो जो घपला हुआ है वो मेंटेनेंस में हुआ है। तो ये मामले को हमने उठाया तो जून 11 को दिल्ली सरकार ने उसको रोक दिया और उसके बाद उपराज्यपाल ने 3 सदस्यीय कमेटी का गठन कर दिया जिसमें सर्विंग एम्प्लॉइज भी थे जो IAS ऑफिसर्स हैं और उसने जब अपनी रिपोर्ट दी तो उस रिपोर्ट के आधार पर मामला जो दिल्ली के उपराज्यपाल है उन्होंने गृह मंत्रालय को भेजा। गृह मंत्रालय ने उसको CBI को दे दिया और प्राथमिकी दर्ज कर दी गई और मेरा वहां पर बयान दर्ज किया गया।
The BJP has launched a scathing attack on the Arvind Kejriwal government in Delhi and sought to know why the new excise policy was withdrawn if there was no corruption in the matter. Addressing a press conference in New Delhi, party spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia alleged that during the second phase of the COVID pandemic, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was busy indulging in corruption by signing the new excise policy instead of focusing on hospital beds and medicines. He said Mr. Kejriwal should stop blaming law enforcement agencies as they are only doing their job.
कोविड की दूसरी लहर आई। श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरे देश की जनता के साथ खड़ी हो गई, दवाई सुनिश्चित करी, अस्पताल में बेड हो, ऑक्सीजन मिले। अरविंद केजरीवाल की भ्रष्टाचारी कलम आबकारी नीति पे दस्तखत करने में लगी थी। मनीष सिसोदिया वो अकाउंटेंट बन के ये देख रहे थे कि आम आदमी पार्टी के खजाने में जनता के पैसे की कितनी लूट आएगी।
Meanwhile, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has alleged that at a time when common man is battling with inflation and unemployment, the central government is busy using the CBI and the ED to settle political scores.
The 6th session of the 15th Kerala Assembly begins today exclusively for lawmaking. More in this report.
The 10-day special session has been scheduled to bring in fresh bills to replace ordinances that have lapsed after the governor declined to give his consent for their promulgation. The 11 ordinances that expired include the Kerala Lok Ayukt Amendment Ordinance that invited severe criticism from the opposition UDF and other quarters, the Kerala Maritime Amendment Ordinance whose constitutional validity has been challenged, and the Kerala Public Health Ordinance. Speaker M.B. Rajesh said the Assembly is being convinced to tide over an extraordinary situation where the ordinances could not be re-promulgated before their expiry date. The special session will end on the 2nd of next month. Prakash Sridharan, AER News, Thiruvananthapuram.
Senior Congress leader Arnan Sharma has resigned from the chairmanship of the steering committee of the Congress for the Himachal elections. In a tweet, Mr. Sharma said, given the continuing exclusion and insults, as a self-respecting person, he was left with no choice. He, however, said that he is a lifelong congressman and remains firm on his convictions.
Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur will be on a 2-day visit to Himachal Pradesh from today to attend various programs to celebrate 75 years of formation of the state. He will attend 2 programs to mark the 75th anniversary of the formation of Himachal Pradesh at Dada Siva Maidan in Kangra district and Amb Maidan in Una district today. On this occasion, exhibitions of various departments depicting the development of Himachal Pradesh have also been put up, through which the development journey from the formation of the state till now will be displayed. During the function, information about various welfare and developmental schemes being run by the government will also be given, and apart from the local people, beneficiaries of various government schemes would also attend this program. Tomorrow, the Union Minister will attend similar programs at Bambalu in Hamirpur district and Bangana in Una district as chief guest. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for the 1.3 billion citizens across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom, with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through storytelling of All India Radio.
आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ, reliving the journey of India since independence over the last 75 years with All India Radio. From 15th August, the series is being broadcast on All India Radio, 100.1 FM Gold Channel, primetime news bulletins and across all its platforms. Tune in to stay updated with All India Radio.
In today's episode, we bring you the story of the presidents of India who served the nation from the 25th of July 1987 till date.
The President is the constitutional head of the state of India and the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. The President is referred to as the first citizen of the country. There have been 15 presidents since the post was established when India was declared as a republic with the adoption of the Constitution in 1950. Ramaswamy Venkatraman was elected as the President on the 25th of July 1987 and continued till 25th July 1992.
We are reminded today of the revolutionary among saints Mahatma Gandhi of sacred memory. Softer than the cotton he spun in his compassion, but harder than steel in his resolve, Gandhiji galvanized the entire nation into heroic action.
Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma held the post from 25th of July 1992 till 25th July 1997.
आजादी के 47 वर्ष बाद आज हर भारतीय के सामने एक राष्ट्र के रूप में जरूरी काम यह है इस आजादी की रक्षा की जाए और आजादी से मिलने वाले लाभ सभी लोगों तक पहुंचाए जाएं.
Dr. K.R. Narayanan served as the President from 25th July 1997 to 25th July 2002.
Honorable members, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this first session of the Parliament in 2002.
Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam was the President from the 25th of July 2002 to 25th July 2007.
I, Honorable Pachir Jainababudin Abdul Kalam, do swearing in the name of God that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of India.
Pratibha Patil held the post from the 25th of July 2007 till the 25th July 2012.
I,
Pratibha Devi Singh Patil, do solemnly affirm
to serve, protect and defend the Constitution and the law.
Preserve, protect and defend the Constitution and the law.
Pranab Mukherjee was the President from the 25th of July 2012 to 25th July of 2017.
I, Pranab Mukherjee, do swear in the name of God that I will faithfully execute the office of President of India and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect and defend the Constitution and the law.
Ram Nath Kovind was elected as the President on the 25th of July 2017 and served till 25th of July 2022.
मैं रामनाथ कोविंद ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक भारत के राष्ट्रपति के पद का कार्यपालन करूंगा.
The present President Draupadi Murmu took oath on the 25th of July this year.
मैं द्रौपदी मुर्मू ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूं कि मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक भारत के राष्ट्रपति पद का कार्यपालन करूंगी.
आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ. This can be accessed on AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, News on AIR app, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune into All India Radio News for Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke Saath.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to chair Interstate Council meeting in Bhopal today. Government clarifies that there is no plan to levy any charges for UPI services. CBI registers preliminary inquiry over allegations of corruption in procurement of 1,000 low-floor buses by the Delhi government. Arnan Sharma quits as steering committee chairman of Himachal Congress. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses the 210 crore mark. flood triggered by heavy rain inundates more than 2,200 villages spread over 13 districts of Odisha. Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme 2022-23 Series 2 to open for subscription from today. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan charged under Anti-Terrorism Act over provocative speech. And in cricket, India to take on Zimbabwe in third and final ODI in Harare today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
कॉम्पिटिशन की तैयारी कर रहे परीक्षार्थियों के लिए आकाशवाणी के न्यूज सर्विस डिवीजन का प्रोग्राम है अभ्यास। इस बार का विषय है एंथ्रोपोलॉजी और आप अपने सवाल इस विषय पर हमें व्हाट्सएप कर सकते हैं 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर। इसका जवाब आपको मिलेगा शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर। आपके सवाल का हम करेंगे इंतजार 24 अगस्त तक। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 210 crore mark today. More than 30 lakh vaccine doses were administered yesterday. The Union Health Ministry said the cumulative first dose of COVID vaccine has been administered to over 102 crore 20 lakh and second dose to more than 93 crore 98 lakh people. The ministry said over 13 crore 79 lakh precaution doses have been administered to the identified categories of beneficiaries, including healthcare workers, frontline workers, and people above 18 years of age. Talking to AIR News, member Niti Aayog V.K. Paul said,
Today, the country has achieved a landmark of 210 COVID vaccination dose implementation. Absolutely outstanding achievement, unprecedented achievement. And that too on the course of Indian vaccines. This is truly a proud moment for India and for all Indian citizens. But I also want to remind us all that the job of creating vaccine shield for our nation is still an ongoing work. Those of us who are due for precaution dose must take precaution dose urgently and without any delay. Anybody who has received the second dose of the vaccine more than 6 months ago should take precaution dose. These are freely available. And in this, now a third Indian vaccine, Corbevax, has also been added. So you have a choice, but you must take precaution dose without delay if you are already eligible and you are due. Our fight against COVID-19 goes on, but let's celebrate the achievement of 210 COVID vaccine doses today.
In Odisha, major rivers like Subarnarekha, Budha Balanga and Baitarani are in spate due to heavy rainfall in North Odisha and Jharkhand in the last 24 hours. However, the water level of the state's largest river, Mahanadi, has been coming down steadily, with the Hirakud Dam, the largest one in Odisha, being able to discharge more water than its daily water intake. More from our correspondent.
According to official sources, more than 2,200 villages spread across 13 districts have been flood affected. Out of these, as many as 545,000 people of 768 villages are waterlogged. The state government has been taking various measures like making provisions for more than 300 relief centers, deployment of 185 medical relief centers with more than 100 mobile medical teams, and distribution of ORS pouch, water packets and halogen tablets besides food items for the flood affected people. A total of 16 NDRF, 17 ODRAF and 58 additional fire service teams have been deployed in the affected areas. Meanwhile, the state government yesterday has delegated the powers of the Special Relief Commissioner to the District Collector of Baleshwar District in North Odisha to tackle any emergency situation arising out of flood in the Subarnarekha river system. A helicopter has also been put under his disposal to meet any eventuality. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
In Morning Matters, now let's listen to a discussion on challenges of heavy rainfall and management. The participants are Tripti Parule, former advisor NDMA, and Aditi Tandon, journalist.
More than 36 people have been killed in the hilly regions of the north and also in the plains of the east after monsoon rains that are continuing have triggered a range of weather events including flash floods, landslides, house collapses, and normal life has been upended across vast swaths of the country. Tripti ji, you are also watching that in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, in Orissa and in Jharkhand especially, we've seen a lot of loss of life and property over the past 2 days, and the IMD has predicted heavy rainfall in Madhya Pradesh and in Rajasthan over the coming 2 days. How do you see these extreme weather events?
Some of these events were predicted by IMD. Some we could not predict, and obviously heavy rainfalls and sudden landslides and all that, there are a lot of factors for it responsible. Therefore, we cannot predict it. And that's why we see lots of loss of lives, especially.
Right. Do you think there's any way in which better predictions, at least of, for instance, events like heavy rainfall, cloudbursts and landslides can happen? Because these are events that are now progressively rising. If we look at the past few months, we've had a lot of landslides and cloudbursts.
Aditi ji, during the rainfall, and because the rainfall patterns are going haywire these days, because of the environmental changes, because of a lot of other reasons, a lot of construction has been happening in the hilly areas, especially road construction and private constructions also, which is affecting a lot of these kind of, especially landslides. So even if you predict that there is a heavy rainfall, you can never ever predict any kind of landslide situation in such kind of terrains. It's very difficult. Precaution we can take.
We were looking at these challenges that we've seen, especially in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand this year. And you might recall, Tripti ji, that even in the Amarnath Yatra, there was a lot of hurdle on account of cloudburst that was on July 18 and 19. So according to you, can the governments do better in order to manage such events? Because you're saying you cannot predict such things, but you can actually prevent perhaps through precaution.
Something, again, in every disaster, there's something pre-disaster management and during disaster and after disaster. So most of the natural disaster we can do after and pre. During we can't do much, we just have to keep ourselves in some safe location or something. In the case of landslides and cloudburst also, like if there is a heavy rainfall, that is during the rainfall season, some occurrence will be there. So before that, we have to be prepared. And cloudburst have become a very common phenomena in last 10 years. Before that, cloudburst was like one heard of phenomena. But now it's like 5-6 times we see cloudbursts happening in different terrains. Those kind of things can bring a lot of kind of situations. It can create a lot of situations which can't be then handled or can be handled with a lot of difficulties. So more of the awareness that government can create. And people will also have to get aware. You cannot take the risk of driving during rainfall time. And government tries to stop people, government tries to warn people, like in Uttarakhand. I've been watching it myself. There have been a lot of warnings been given by the government. And because of the road construction, the mountains have become way more vulnerable. Therefore, lots of landslides have happened in one of the highways itself. So those kind of things will occur.
You were saying a while ago that governments also perhaps need to keep a check on unbridled construction activities in, vulnerable hilly terrains like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir also. So do you think there can be any kind of, mapping studies that the government should actually start conducting? Because we do not have any such planning with respect to construction activities, although we do have laws that bar non-residents from buying land in these areas.
I remember that NIDM and NDMA brought out a lot of regularities and also some kind of, regulations that how the construction should happen, why the construction should not happen, where the construction must not happen, and those kind of things. So if we start getting these things applied properly, I think a lot of mishaps and a lot of fatal things will be able to save.
Also, we have seen a number of news items, Tripti ji, of late, which tell us that, nearly 5,000 vehicles enter Shimla, for instance, over the weekend. Saturday, Sunday. And as you said just now that a number of tourists enter, hilly state capitals, and there's overcrowding and there is, excessive burden on very vulnerable routes. So why can't the state government bring out some kind of a policy to regulate entry of vehicles into, hilly areas?
See, the thing is that, our population is definitely a problem and a situation. Any government cannot say, okay, you are coming in and we are going to stop these many numbers and after that we are not going to allow vehicles. Now, obviously, government can regulate, can ask them to stop at a distance, can have some more other kind of vehicle arrangement for to and fro from their parking areas and all that, but cannot stop completely. But the awareness can be created in the big cities nearby.
Thank you so much for your time, Sifti.
Thank you, Aditi ji.
Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has been charged under the Anti-Terrorism Act. He has been booked for threatening a judge and two top officials while addressing a rally in Islamabad. The case surfaced hours after Interior Minister Rana Sanaullah said the government is mulling filing a case against Imran Khan over his provocative speech delivered on Saturday night in Pakistan's capital. Khan on Saturday rallied his supporters in Islamabad against the arrest and alleged torture of his Chief of Staff, Dr. Shahbaz Gill, in police custody.
In cricket, India will take on Zimbabwe in the final one-day international of the three-match series in Harare today. The match begins at 12:45 p.m. India time. Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius. The maximum will be nearly 35. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Chennai will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The minimum temperature is 27 and maximum will be 36 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar will have a partly cloudy sky, while Jammu will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh may have a mainly clear sky and Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Hyderabad will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Minimum temperature was 23, maximum will be 31. Bengaluru will have a generally cloudy sky. Visakhapatnam will have a generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Guwahati and Gangtok will have partly cloudy skies with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. And finally, Shillong, Aizawl, Itanagar, Kohima and Imphal will have partly cloudy skies with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The Pioneer on its front page says, Excise case, lookout notice against 8 by CBI. CBI registers preliminary inquiry on bus purchase. Handcuffs getting close to Kejri, BJP writes the Asian Age. Sidelined, insulted, Anand Sharma quits key HP Congress post days after Azad resigned from 2 J&K posts is a front page story in the Times of India. No plan to import wheat, have sufficient stock, says government, writes the Financial Express. In August deluge, FPI pump in over 45,000 crore rupees, says the Hindu Business Line. Imran booked under Anti-Terrorism Act for threatening police, judiciary, reports the Times of India. And finally, good news for environment sustainability enthusiasts. Companies are revving up plans to augment battery storage needs. A Business Standard headline adding that India is to build over 145 GWH capacity to power electric vehicle revolution.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Union Home Minister Amit Shah to chair Interstate Council meeting in Bhopal today. Government clarifies there is no plan to levy any charges for UPI services. CBI registers preliminary inquiry over allegations of corruption in procurement of 1,000 low-floor buses by Delhi government. Arnan Sharma quits as steering committee chairman of Himachal Congress. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses the 210 crore mark. Flood triggered by heavy rain inundates more than 2,200 villages spread over 13 districts of Odisha. Sovereign Gold Bond Scheme 2022-23 Series 2 to open for subscription from today. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan charged under Anti-Terrorism Act over provocative speech. And in cricket, India to take on Zimbabwe in third and final ODI in Harare today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.